Yeah, this is fine. This is appropriately oppressive. The rat catcher will come away from Laos, and you will see um, the bloody mess of Laos's head over his own, which he slowly lowers onto his neck. And then there are two pale eyes kind of glaring out from the dark of Laos's open mouth, and some words that echo out of it. I promise you a bountiful kingdom. No rat will go hungry as long as I reign. If you desire flesh, then take it from the men that call you vermin. This is the Isle of Rats. Make sure they remember it. That'll just kind of be a echo to the decree. And though you guys will not be here to see it, the Global Vermin Challenge is now 12.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Crow wants to make an effort never to have to come back here with its strict rules on being able to leave and the general shittiness of this. So Crow is going to walk over, disrobe the jacket of... forgot.
Filth. The Defiler.
Filth.
Yeah.
Jacket of Filth the Defiler.
Filthy jacket.
You sure you don't want to keep it?
Wing it off
Souvenir?
of him and bestow it upon the rat catcher and say, kill everyone.
I promise, Acolyte, my loyal kinsman, you will always have a place here, and the hunting will be good.
Yeah, Crow hopes not. And he releases his grip on the coat.
Perfect. Yeah, he will drape it over himself, his kind of louse head just still dripping onto his shoulders of thick red blood pooling around his feet. Rostavan?
He finally gets up. Are we still in combat?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Let me remove everything. Yeah, I'm going to have you guys roll for every door, starting with Rikote.
All right, Rikote, you're up.
Please!
Right, buddy. Yeah, he'll finally get on his feet and sort of hobble over to where everyone else was. He's going to look at the charred, smoldering corpse of Laos and say, actually, no, I don't think he'll say anything. He'll just look at it and realize what he's done and realize that he still has that in him.
Yeah, you will even see a kind of momentary hesitation as the rat catcher. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Aha, Lord Rat.
You may now address me as Mr. Rat.
That's right.
As the Rat King does slightly back up as you approach and enter into the room. A righteous flame, brother. You struck true.
Yeah. Been quite a while since I've ever pulled something like that off. But I had the right kindling for it, at least.
This one belongs to you, if you want it. I've taken what I must.
He'll look over to him and consider for a moment, and then he'll just say, No, I might come back someday. You can do what you will with this place.
Oh, it will be a wonderful feast. Will you stay? He says, asking all of you.
Nay. Very quickly.
Rikote, the door will open with a click, and there will be a second door behind it. No.
The trick door is finally open.
The click is it relocking.
Yeah.
I
Stronger than
almost
before.
had it!
As your tools find the right placement, and it'll fall open.
Excellent. I leave wordlessly through the door, and I'm not seen again for the rest of the campaign.
Oh,
After
Right.
all his promises, he just bails on us. He freaking never meant to.
You guys come out of the cave. There's no ship. Lucas sinks to his knees.
He was so
Yeah,
strong.
He's overpowered. As the door opens, I guess Rakote will he'll approach the crew standing here with the new Rat King. And he'll say, "I should think that it's time we leave this Isle of Rats."
yes. We have defeated the king. I will not wait longer.
Yeah, I've had enough of this place.
Then we must not tarry. The way ahead is just forward.
All right, I roll to walk that way.
You fail.
It is an
We're stuck.
athletics challenge.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're stuck, and nothing happens, and it sucks for everyone. Yeah, there will be kind of a silence as the rat catcher watches all of you kind of depart one by one. And when his eyes finally land on Lucas, he will say, "Thief, you should have shown me more respect. Now you must bow and ask for forgiveness." "I'm not doing that." "Yes, you are." You'll see from kind of the multitude of openings, a plethora of rats, hundreds of them, smaller than the ones that you left behind, all glaring down with red eyes. And Lucas will look towards Crow, who seems to be the one that communicates to this creature.
I'd like to try to force him to bow.
Yeah, no, that'll happen. You will sing, and the rat catcher will the rat king will squeal in delight as Lucas bows despite himself.
We leave now.
"Thank you, lady. Thank you." And he will kind of turn and just breathe deeply, looking at his new domain, the kingdom and the throne he'll rule from.
Actually, I don't know if this is free or not, but I want to at least cut off the end of the tongue of the old rat king, and keep it with me.
Ooh, interesting. Sure. Yeah, I will allow you to do so.
Okay, cool. I'll,
You know what it's gonna be? Actually, the rat catcher had to discard the tongue so it would fit over his head. It's just kind of like thrown on the ground, a giant lump of flesh.
All right. He'll cut the manageable, smaller tip of the tongue and keep it with him.
Perfect. Another fucking bomb to go off. Yeah. And you all will be left to leave if that is your wish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then with Lucas at the lead and his torch lighting the way, it takes another 10 minutes of careful navigation. You pass through 20 more doors, a few dead ends, but eventually, after all this time, you emerge. And the Pale Lady, the sound is familiar to you. You hear the rushing of waves crashing upon a rocky shore. And emerging into the light, kind of blinding, you realize that you are at the base of Partner's Plummet.
She will emerge from the cavern, the shaded cavern, into the maybe partly cloudy day, and just sort of stare out over the water, letting the sounds of the sea and home sort of wash over her.
Yeah,
And then she will look to Lucas and say, "The ship."
There'll be a skiff further down the shore. We ride that in. And he'll start walking, kind of shifting his pack on his back as he does so, and starting to head south along the shoreline.
She will keep up with Lucas.
He starts swimming away. Sorry. Let's have the water playing. Yeah, there will just be kind of a good 30-minute walk as you guys navigate this rocky shore. On either side of you are large kind of obelisks, these stone mountains that lead onto the other side of the rats, which have acted as a wall since now, but you're on the other side of it. And after 30 minutes of navigating, you eventually see a tiny skiff with what looks to be two sailors kind of manning it on either side. They've brought it ashore and seem to be waiting. What a sight. A welcome one. Let's get off this rock. And Lucas will, again, shoulder his weight and move forward. You guys have a moment. Is there anything you'd like to see, or should we get to the boat?
Crow lurches off toward something, a ridge that overlooks like deep water, like not at a beach.
Where's he going?
I jump in and I swim home.
Oh. Me too.
Race you there.
He gets to the ridge and then lowers the wrapped body of Charlie and unwraps it. He takes from a satchel that's been unseen till now and sprinkles sea salt to season the body with before delicately and dutifully setting hooks into the most sturdy holes in the body through ankles, through forearm bones, and pulls a nearby heavy gravestone, one of a million on offer, and drags it in and leashes the chains around this. And with the body now anchored to this weight, he says a small prayer is too kind of a word, and then hucks the slab of stone into the ocean where it can drag old Herman's body down to the depths.
Yeah. And so it will. The ocean takes what is offered, and Herman's body will be carried away. Slowly, but surely.
Crow always watches until it's gone, and then eventually stands back up and returns to the party in as neutral a state as he normally stands in when he's not actively hunting.
Rakote, having observed this from a respectful distance, upon seeing Crow return, will say, I find myself in something of a difficult situation, sailor.
He looks down at you, wondering if he needs to be ready to hit you.
He'll continue, knowing that Crow's a man of few words. He'll say, I want to congratulate you on the success of your mission, but I know not which name to call you by.
He casts his He casts his head up toward the sky. This is a thing that hadn't occurred to him in a couple decades. And he kind of looks around his vestment and checks inside the coat and apparently yields something from there as he looks down and then looks out and simply says, "Crow."
Rakote will wait a beat, and he'll just say, "Well met, Crow. Well met."
He stares at you, wondering what the point of this interaction is. He hasn't clocked in yet.
Yeah, it's totally fine. After a moment, Rakote will, awkward as ever, just wordlessly depart and walk towards the rest of the others.
He's just saving face so he accidentally walks back toward the island.
It's shot on sight by a gold shirt.
Yeah.
The Pale Lady is standing beside the docked ship, with no intention to get inside. She will swim beside it. However, it is important that the ship is there for you all.
Yeah, you can see it's a small vessel, but in the further distance, a ship seems to be waiting for your arrival. And Lucas will be kind of conversing with the men and say, "I don't care how many we agreed with, they're all coming aboard. Except that one, she can swim. Does that make it any easier?" And there'll be a bit of a kind of back and forth, but eventually they'll acquiesce and start pushing the ship into the water. All right, everyone on the boat. You need to be back before sunset.
I run up to the boat and attack it accidentally because the prompt didn't come up.
Oh, shit.
Starts
Alright.
sticking.
Oh, great. Okay, now we do a crafts challenge. Everyone's going to need to go get craft supplies.
We gotta go
back
back,
to the
to the
island.
beach, chop down some trees.
Timber Falls is the only place you can get lumber, sure enough.
We're not doing that.
Can I roll contacts to know where the best place to throw myself in the fucking sea and drown is?
I mean, honestly, any place is looking good.
You heard about a good spot.
A dinosaur glitches in from the opposite shore, kind of
What?
skating on roller skates across
the
the
fuck?
beach. It's a level 78. It shouldn't be in the beginner area,
Yeah.
but it did spawn there. And it takes a few chomps at you, not really registering damage until you suddenly die, and you respawn actually on the opposite end of the map. So you're at the beginning.
The arc references.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is actually good because it sucks.
This was a bad play. This was a bad spawn start, so honestly, it works out for you.
But Lucas sets himself aboard the ship. Do the rest of you join?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I like it here on the Isle of Rats. That plus 12 physique challenge seems good. I'm going to start doing that.
Very welcoming. Well, we know the king. We don't have to roll it.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain it to the rats. Hey, guys.
We know the gang.
I know I'm okay.
Everybody knows the king. If I had a fucking
Yeah.
crown.
Everyone knows the king.
Everyone who said they know the king. I bet.
The king's dating my sister. How does that line up?
He's dating yours and mine, huh? I see. These are all rats speaking. As well.
Chain smoking rats, yeah.
This is the campaign we're playing now. All right. In that case, you are all in the water, kind of being rocked by the waves as the men take their oars and in careful rhythm push you further and further away. And
It's
then
like an overhead shot of you all in the boat, and then the Pale Lady's form underneath the boat, but it's now twice as long as it is on land, as she is swimming underneath the boat.
That's cool. That's so fucking cool.
She's not that special. I'm also swimming in the water. I can do this the whole time.
I'm twice as wide.
I'm twice as wide.
I open up. She does hot dog style. I do hamburger.
Oh.
Order that in forever.
And there's just basically quiet as Lucas regards the island that you left behind. And just kind of eventually rubbing his nose a bit, wiping his beard, and then turning his eyes forward towards the ship that lays ahead. And after an hour of careful rowing, you're eventually astride a large ship. What was the name of it? One moment.
The big ship.
And kind of like carved into the bow of the ship, you will see the Acheron. And just as you follow the letters of this ship, a rope is cast aside, a rope ladder. And Lucas will be the first to grab it and start ascending.
I interact, which instantly teleports my model onto the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah, a real mug is going to be waiting for you guys when you get there.
Ugh.
Yeah,
This
and
is
as
Clay
you
Man.
all, this is Clayface.
Says Clayface.
Where is her icon at? One moment. There she is. As you all are led one by one over the edge, a fairly stout, scarred woman stands, her arms crossed. And she just kind of counts aloud as you are all led aboard. 1, 2, 3. How many of you are there? And she'll look over the side.
Pele
5.
flops aboard.
Well, Mueller, this isn't exactly what we agreed on. No, but the job got done. Promise you that. And he will reach into his jacket, and she will just kind of put her hand up and say, there'll be time for that. I just want to know how you got acquainted with such a colorful group. I know 2 of these by reputation and a 3rd by name. And then she'll look at you, Rosvan, and say, You? You I don't know. And Lucas will just say, I needed a bit of help. And help tagged along. Fine. She will then kind of looked at you, specifically Rakote, and say, Captain, welcome aboard.
He will nod and say, thank you for charting us, Captain.
All are welcome. The poor of the nameless can sort you all out, if they need to. But before we get all friendly, I need you all to show me your wrists, ankles, and eyes. Refuse and you can swim your way back to the land. I'm sure the Gold Shirts will be happy to have you. Captain, I've been back and forth on the island twice now. I haven't seen a sign of the plague once. I doubt anyone has in over 200 years. You'd have been right a month ago, Mueller, before word of the brine came out of Coltan. So now we're doing this as carefully as I deem necessary. Line up. And Lucas will seem a bit shocked by that, but he will align himself near the side of the ship. Kind of gesture for you guys to do the same.
I will.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Without moving,
now-
Crow will say, Of what speakest thou?
The brine, sailor. Or should I call you Kohler? I know you're kind. But don't think that'll afford you any special treatment.
There is posed a question.
The brine, sailor, I answered it. Are you so old that you don't remember?
Aye.
She will kind of tut. and say, the plague of the old king turns your blood to salt and renders you nothing but a dumb animal. You think they call them plague pits just for no reason? No, there's history there. And I won't endanger my crew bringing you lot on just because Mueller says you're nice. We can't afford that. So the order stands. Make yourself available, or swim back to shore. What'll it be?
He's gonna stare at Laszlo for a long time, and go walk over into the line.
How long has the plague been absent?
I'd say you know this. 200 years. It's been a very long time. But she seems to have said that there is an outbreak.
Yes. The pale lady seems to kind of hem and haw her head like an owl, curious at this news. But she does not seem resistant to the check.
All right, so we're gonna go down the line. Pale lady, physique roll.
I'm sick.
All right, Rostavon, physique roll. Okay, Rakote.
Oh my god!
Why? Oh my god, he's so stalwart.
He's drawn like a pillar man in his panel.
He's got washboard abs.
Is he secretly ripped?
What does this role represent?
It represents fortitude, like a resilience to the plague. Let's do Declan real quick. Physique.
I don't want to.
I want someone to draw buff Rakote.
God damn it!
You stand up and you're 12 feet tall. Holy shit!
From his chair.
Yeah. From his chair. The examining physician, which is a very friendly way for saying sailor with even a modicum of medical training, will pass to each of you, carefully examining your wrists, your ankles, and very, very carefully your eyes. And you'll pass down the line and turn to the captain and say, "Nothing, ma'am." Good. Well, now we can all be friendly. And she will just kind of relax her arms at this point and kind of look back to the Isle of Rats. She will say, "Robert, let's make good use of this wind." And you will hear plenty of people beginning to move about the ship, getting it ready to sail as the sun sets. And then she will, again, kind of pointedly look to you, Rakote, and say, "Captain, Mueller, we need to talk." She will start going towards the captain's quarters.
Rakote will follow.
I trip him.
You certainly
With a physique
don't.
5?
Yeah, you
Five.
fucking try.
He breaks my foot as I put it out in front of him. He crunches it.
You go to trip me, and I just walk through your leg, just crumbles like rotten
Obliterating
wood.
it.
Sounds like a crab shell being broken when he steps on it.
And as she's leaving, she will look to the rest of you and say, "The rest of you, be at ease. It'll be a week's trip, if we're lucky." And she will let herself down, and the rest of you are aboard a fairly sizable vessel, enough to hold about 100 crew, with accommodations for each of you, though not private by any means. It's still very much a vessel for ferrying goods between all the islets. So is there anything, before I kind of attend to Rakote, that the rest of you would do aboard this vessel?
I would like to start mending myself, or at least trying to.
Cool. Increase the challenge by 2 for whatever you're doing.
I've got a mild and a severe still.
Okay.
What is the nature of the severe? Oh,
Physical. They're both physical.
yeah. Well, what is it exactly? Because we can, depending on what it is, we can maybe get creative with another skill and not have you try to roll a medicine 8 and fail for the next 6 months.
It is crushed ribs. Took a bruised rib.
Yeah, there was a hammer that was driven precisely against her back and caused her to spin into a metal grate.
That was during my assault.
Mm-hmm.
The trap.
Have to craft a pretty lofty sort of fish brace for you.
Yeah.
Oh, can we get rid of our rat stress?
Yes. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, get refreshed everything. Your fate points and your rat stress is gone. You will have the first night's sleep free of rats in a very long time.
I am going to look on the ship for... I'm going to try to investigate to create advantage to try and find one of a several part contraption we'll have to make if we're to get her mending.
Yeah, I love it. So something that would contribute to a brace, right? Is kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, some sort of leather bracer that likely has to be drawn taut with rope.
I think this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to set the challenge at a 1. Okay.
I'm going to invoke fucking pirate ship where these things all should exist.
Yeah, I mean, you're a fucking sailor on a pirate ship. Easy. Go for it. Yeah, you can come away with...
I'm just
go
gonna
ahead.
boost it. There's no...
Yeah.
This game hates me.
No, you come away with a series of ropes, maybe even some wooden planks that are pliable enough for you to form the brace you're looking for.
He sets these out and says, only thing for it, brace.
The pale lady has kind of positioned herself at the kind of the helm of the ship. Not the helm, but at one of the sides.
She's driving it.
She's driving the ship. They didn't say it was okay, but she's just doing it.
Turn
What are
the
they
wheel
gonna
left
do?
and right.
There once was a ship that set out to sea, and the name of the ship was the White! We have to do the
she's-
pre-sale checks. It's post-sale now, but we can always double back.
I don't like how you disappear into that. I don't like it when you're. I don't like it when you do this.
Well, it's another part of me.
Yeah.
She's facing the north. She's specifically facing the siren sail. She's kind of tending to the rat bites and the scrapes and kind of damaged scales underneath her fins. And she will look at Crow quizzically and say, "We have already concluded our accord."
Thou still hast thy uses.
Alright, so we've got the... Is it a +2?
Yep.
Yeah, I would wait. You've already rolled a medicine and also 1 + 2 on your medicine. I feel that somebody else should perform this with crafts, most likely. I just think we have to stack the deck.
Yeah, and honestly, I was gonna have this play out too before you roll. Pale Lady, there will be the kind of medic from before will timidly approach and say, "My lady, if you have any need, I'd be glad to offer it."
She will look down at the garbage that has been thrown at her feet, and then at the medic who's approaching. She will just kind of lift up her arm, peeling away the kind of extra glistening layers of fin to reveal kind of a deep bruise against like the back of her rib cage, like an area she can't really reach. And she will just kind of expectantly hold her very slender arm aloft for him to take a look.
Yeah, he will carefully examine it and say, "It nearly clipped your artery. You'd have bled out there, ma'am. But we ought to be able to fix this." And he will settle down and give you a +1.
And everyone else join in. Everyone sing a song, play the flute.
Oh, there's instruments everywhere.
This is a musical vessel.
Oh, I'll
It's a
give it
pleasure
try.
cruise.
Let's
So
see,
you
that's
currently have a
plus
+3. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll tap. There we go. The sea's gift protects me from it.
Yep. You got your tinctures and everything else. Perfect. That was close, but you pulled it off.
I figured now that we had the refresh that I was definitely going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's mending now.
Yeah, it's a very careful work, and most of it is very grueling, as you have to constantly raise and lower your arm, only causing the wound to worsen. But eventually, the man steps away, and you can tell that it has been sewed to the best of his ability.
Isn't this
Kind of-
severe? Her ribs?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like bruised, and then she said she had a wound there, like an open wound.
She held up her arm, right?
Yeah.
And then I
It's-
thought you said there was an open wound, right?
It's like bruised. It's,
I'm
like,
so sorry. Okay, I
like an
apologize.
impact.
Yeah, so it's more so, recant that, it's more so him applying the materials
Yeah.
that Crow has provided and building them into something that can support your arm.
She looks a little silly having this sea harness attached to her. But
We got her a
she
thunder
brings her-
shirt for when the seas
Yeah.
are a little uneasy.
she'll lower her arm, and her natural sort of flowy fins sort of cover the majority of the material, along with her kind of various ropes and bottles and trinkets that she's wearing. It sort of blends in.
Perfect. The man will just kind of nod and excuse himself, leaving both you and Crow there. Rostavon, what were you doing?
Is there any salt anywhere?
Oh, yes, plenty.
No.
Just for preserving meats.
Yeah. He's gonna find that, and he's gonna start rubbing salt into the tongue that he's cleaved to preserve it.
Cool. Yeah, no problem.
Stomp on it a few times, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a crafts roll. You've already taken the tongue of this thing. But the salt will kind of filter into the cracks, and you'll see it start to sop up the blood that is collected at the end of it, until there's just kind of like a wet mass of red in your hands. Kind of like a red heart, honestly. Okay, then with business above, we continue to the lower decks of the ship, of the Archeon. Okay. Rakote, there'll be a shot of you kind of through a drinking glass that will be quickly filled with a brown liqueur as Clapton Laszlo's hand pushes it forward towards you.
He will take it.
Doubt they have that on the Isles.
He'll kind of start swirling it and waft it and he'll say, "Oh no, this will greatly outdo the rainwater I had been drinking to survive."
Well, I think you have earned your share of this, she'll say, kind of tilting the bottle, and just places it in front of all three of you, you, Mueller, herself, as she kind of leans back. And looking out the window, you can see behind you the Isle of Rats. She will say, "How's our no keeping?" And you will see Mueller spit out a little bit, but he will continue to drink.
Ooh.
Oof. Oof, my
Uh,
captain.
Is this an appropriate time to try to roll an empathy to see if she sounds friendly towards Arno?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Her deceive's a 1. Okay. It has more of a professional air about it, is what I'd say with a tie.
Uh, he will approach with honesty then, and boldly say, Arno is dead.
And that's a shame. But you can't domesticate people like that. He should have known better.
He'll say, arguably, his undoing may have been his system of laws. Not sure what would merit death under his ruling. But he was, in a way, eliminated by one of the men who he enacted justice upon.
So he got what was coming, she says, just kind of summarizing it.
He'll nod, and he'll say, such is the way on that isle.
Yeah, well, with him gone, there's going to be a lot more of it. Blood, that is. Foul tempers, all that. I don't need to explain it to you. You've been there.
He'll take a sip, and almost like echoing into his glass, he'll say, Louse is dead too.
And you will see her eyes go very wide at that. And she will kind of lean forward and say, now that's interesting. Very interesting.
He'll say, aye, and the new king has already taken his place.
And you got off at the exact right time, by the sounds of it. It's quite
Yes,
a shake-up.
Yeah, he'll say, I imagine the rats will eat well in the chaos for a time.
Yeah, until the gold shirts have to get their hands around it again. They need that place. They'll make sure it's working. Or they'll just keep feeding the rats. And she'll just kind of shrug again and reach under her table. And as she does, she'll look over at Mueller and say, you got it? Jawbone? Yeah. Here, as promised. And he will reach into his jacket and place it directly in front of you. And it's been a while since you've seen this, but again, it is a gold-plated jawbone with all of its teeth correctly set, which has not been the case when you first saw it. And Lo will just kind of whistle as she comes up, and you'll see a sizable collection of banknotes. And she just kind of like thumbs them with her hand. And she will look between the two of you for a moment and then say, business then. Captain, what portion of this, she'll kind of hold up the notes, belongs to him? Is it the king's share or the pauper?
He'll look to Lucas, and he'll kind of hold on it for a second, and after taking another sip, he'll say, the king's share.
He will see that he was about to fucking go ballistic. But realizing that you have sided with him, Mueller will kind of settle back. And Captain Laszlo will kind of nod for a moment before saying, that's a fair trade. Money for freedom. It's a trade I'd make. And she will pass a majority of those to Mueller, but she will also pass a sizable amount to you.
Rakote will take it in palm, and in lieu of fanning it out and counting it, like a like a really good dealer with a deck of cards, he'll set his hand on top of it and just run his thumb up the side, fanning them, as if counting the bills without looking.
And then miscount and go, $12. Very nice.
Excellent. What? No.
When you do Rakote, kind of bring your thumb against it, you turn just a single eye downwards. And when you do, there's a kind of hollowness in your stomach where when you see the telltale cardinal rose of the Tyburn Trading Company stamped on them.
Lovely.
Just kind of looking back up at you. And a unmoving black ink.
Yeah, he will grimace to himself at that sight. And he'll say, suppose I am back in the outside world.
Not everyone's going to be happy to see you, she says very plainly.
He says, oh no, I imagine not. I've already accounted for that.
We're planning on dropping you off at the Port of the Nameless. Does that work for you?
He says, well, there's no place better. That's where my ship is.
Last I heard, you weren't holding on to that. To anything, really.
Yes, well, nobody comes back from the Isle of Rats, do they? And he'll say,
No? Yep. That's perfect.
Before I was a captain, I was a businessman, and a businessman always protects his investments. Anaphalie will sail again, shortly.
Well, I'm sure she's missing her captain, and she'll refill your glass. Just kind of like look over at you pleasantly, and you and Mueller, before taking the gold jawbone and placing it in a safe underneath her desk.
Steal it back.
And she will stand up a bit and just kind of like stare out the back window towards the Isle of Rats. Is there anything else you'd like to address, or should we move forward?
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, Captain.
Yeah,
If the time, oh, sorry, I paused.
No, please.
He'll say, if the hounds of Tyburn come sniffing, what will you tell them of me?
She will smile and say, that you're rotting on the Isle of Rats, like you deserve to.
He'll smile widely at that, and he'll raise his glass.
Make sure you learned your lesson.
Yeah, he'll. I don't have a last word for that. I think that's an appropriate end to that scene.
Yeah. And kind of turning her head back out towards the Isle of Rats, she will squint, and kind of over her shoulder you will see a large fire kind of ravaging the southern end of the isle. It's no short assumption that that flame, that point, is Bulwark. But she just kind of regards it with her glass and continues drinking as the fire continues to eat at it. Okay. And with that,